You would do anything for him. You have rearranged your entire life around this relationship. Your schedule, your friendships, your dreams, the things you used to love. Slowly, quietly, you let them go. And when he is happy, you finally feel okay. And when he's distant, you fall apart. You tell yourself this is love, but somewhere deep inside, you know something is wrong. Not with him, with you. This video is about that feeling and why it is not your fault. Here is what nobody tells you about loving too much. It does not feel like a problem. It feels like devotion. It feels like depth. It feels like you are just someone who loves hard. And maybe you were told that was beautiful. Maybe people said, she loves so deeply. Maybe you believed them. But loving too much is not the same as loving deeply. Loving deeply comes from fullness. Loving too much comes from fear. Fear of being left. Fear of not being enough. Fear that if you stop giving everything, everything will fall apart. That fear has a name, and science has been studying it for over 60 years. Attachment theory, the foundation. In the 1960s, a British psychologist named John Bowlby made a discovery that would change everything we know about love. He studied how babies respond when their mothers leave the room, and what he found was not just about babies, it was about every human being who has ever loved someone. He found that we are all wired from birth to attach to the people who take care of us, and the way those first people responded to us became the blueprint for every relationship we would ever have. He called this attachment theory, and it explains everything. The anxious attachment style. Decades later, researchers Mary Ainsworth and Mary Main identified specific attachment patterns, and one pattern appeared again and again in women who love too much. It is called anxious attachment. Anxiously attached women grew up in environments where love felt unpredictable. Sometimes the caregiver was warm and present. Sometimes they were distant, distracted, or emotionally unavailable. The child could never predict which version would show up, and so the nervous system learned, I must work harder for love. I must be more, give more, do more, because if I relax, love might disappear. The neuroscience behind it. Here's what this does to your brain. When you have anxious attachment, your nervous system treats your partner's approval like a survival signal. When he's warm, your brain releases dopamine. When he pulls away, your brain triggers cortisol, the stress hormone. This is why you cannot simply calm down. This is why logic doesn't work. Your brain isn't processing a relationship, it's processing a threat to survival. And you are doing everything you can to survive. Let me give you 3 things most women never hear about this. Truth 1. You did not choose this pattern. It chose you. Anxious attachment is not a personality flaw. It is not neediness. It is not weakness. It is a survival strategy your nervous system built when you were too young to build anything else. Think about it. You were small. You needed love to literally survive, and the love around you was inconsistent, so your brain adapted. It became hypervigilant. It learned to scan constantly for signs that love was fading. A text not replied to, a shift in his tone, a moment of distance. Your nervous system caught all of it, and it responded with panic. This is not you being dramatic. This is your nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. Truth 2. You are not attracted to unavailable people by accident. This one is hard to hear. Research shows that anxiously attached women are most powerfully drawn to avoidantly attached partners. The avoidant partner pulls away when things get close. And to the anxious nervous system, that distance feels exactly like childhood, familiar, painful, and somehow magnetic. Because your nervous system does not look for what is healthy, it looks for what it already knows. The emotionally unavailable partner does not feel wrong, they feel like home. And that is the most painful truth of all. Truth 3. Loving more will never make him stay. Every woman who loves too much believes, if I just love him enough, he will change. If I am patient enough, if I am understanding enough, if I am perfect enough. But here's what the psychology actually says. An avoidant partner does not pull away because you are not enough. They pull away because closeness itself feels threatening to them. More love from you does not solve that. More love from you confirms their fear that love is overwhelming. You cannot love someone out of their own wounds, and you cannot fix yourself by giving more. I want to tell you about 2 women. Nadia, 29. Nadia had been with the same man for 4 years. He was smart, charming, and completely emotionally unavailable. He would be warm for a week, then cold for 2. He would say he loved her, then disappear for days. And every time he came back, Nadia felt more grateful than she had any right to feel. She told herself, this is just who he is. She told herself, I need to be more patient. She told herself, if I leave, I will never find someone like him. But what she could not see then was that she was not in love with him. She was addicted to the moments when he came back, the relief, the warmth, the proof that she was enough, that hit of dopamine after days of withdrawal. That is not love. That is a trauma bond. Sarah, 34. Sarah had been single for 3 years after her last relationship. She had done everything right: therapy, journaling, space. And then she met someone new. He was kind, present, consistent. He texted back quickly. He showed up when he said he would. And Sarah felt nothing. She kept waiting for the spark, the intensity, the longing, the ache. It never came, because for Sarah, love had always felt like pain, and peace felt like absence. She almost walked away from the healthiest relationship of her life because it did not feel like the chaos she mistook for love. She did not walk away. And 2 years later, she says that was the best decision of her life. So what do you actually do with all of this? First, understand that this is not about him. This has never been about him. This is about your nervous system. And nervous systems can be rewired. Step 1, name the pattern out loud. The next time you feel the panic rising, the obsessive checking of your phone, the spiral of anxious thoughts, say this out loud. This is my nervous system. This is not reality. I am safe. I am not in danger. This is not affirmation. This is neuroscience. Naming the pattern activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, and calms the threat response. Step 2, learn to tolerate the distance. When someone is distant, do not chase. This is the hardest thing I will ask you to do. But every time you chase, you confirm to your nervous system that the panic was correct. Instead, sit with the discomfort. Let the anxiety peak, and then watch it fall. Because it will fall. Anxiety always does. And each time you survive the distance without chasing, your nervous system learns something new. I am okay. I do not need to panic. I am safe alone. Step 3, choose consistency over intensity. If a relationship feels like a roller coaster, that is not passion. That is your nervous system in a state of chronic activation. The love that will actually heal you will feel boring at first. Consistent, calm, present. Learn to stay in that. Learn to trust that. Because calm is not the absence of love. Calm is what love actually feels like when it is not wrapped in fear. Slow down completely. This is the landing. You have spent years believing that loving more was the answer. More patience, more understanding, more of yourself. But what you actually needed was someone to love you the way you deserved. And that someone has to be you first. Your attachment style is not your destiny. It is your starting point. The nervous system that learned to love through fear can learn to love through safety. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes the courage to choose differently, even when everything in you is screaming to go back to what you know. You are not too much. You are not too needy. You are a woman whose nervous system learned the wrong lesson about love, and lessons can be unlearned. If this video described you, drop a comment below. Tell me, do you recognize this pattern in yourself? And if you want to understand the other attachment styles, the avoidant, the secure, the disorganized, that video is coming next week. Your pattern is not your personality. I will see you in the next one.